Okay. Welcome, viewers, to yet another episode of Service Excellence Roundtable. You know how we do it. Today is the third episode, and we are very excited to be here. We've had the service series prior to this, and now we're just having the Service Excellence Roundtable here on YouTube. You're welcome once again. If you missed the last two episodes, please take a moment, take a breather, and then just go watch it, binge watch it. Tell us, hear our viewpoint, laugh at our viewpoint. Get to hear what we have to say. We are very, very serious-minded people over here. You're welcome to the round table again. On Service Excellence Roundtable, we get to analyze trends globally when it comes to service excellence, from community to business to organization, depending on the trend that makes it to our round table. And today's theme is the digital dependency era, you know, where service is depending on algorithm. That's what our theme for today is. And joining me is my beautiful co-host, who is always dropping it back to back to back. She's here, Gladys. Gladys, please say hi to everyone.
Hi everyone. So I'm glad this.
Of
It's like
course
I
you are,
should just say
Gladys.
hi. Say hi.
Okay, and also joining us is Mr. Steven. Mr. Steven is a guest on our show, so he's not just going to say hi, he's just going to briefly introduce himself and tell you about his expertise. So, Mr. Steven, you have the floor for a minute or 1 minute, 30 seconds. Just tell us more about you and who you are.
Okay, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whichever part of the country or whichever part of the world you are joining in from. I'm glad to meet Gladys, and which acronym to use for Priscilla now? All the same, all the same, it's my pleasure to be here to discuss the trending issues globally with you and your team. My name is Stephen Ogumbi. I'm a training lead, a training specialist, a learning and development professional. And what again do I do? I create impact. I build capacity of team members via facilitation, via training, via behavioral change, via performance, via impact, and via change. So what I do simply is changing people to develop on the job. So the change can now be in different perspective, either via mentorship, coaching, classroom, virtual, just name everything that revolves around behavioral change and capacity development. That is all what I do. I'm certified CIPM, NITD, LTP, but I don't want to mention MIT, MTN or whatever. But I'm certified, so that is all that I have to say. Over to you,
Oh, thank you so much for that amazing introduction. Thank God you didn't say HIV. Okay, you're welcome once again, right, to this episode. Just a moment, I'm trying to, upload a guide so that our viewers can join us along on this journey. If you're joining us today, we usually have like a guide. Hold on, hold on. Okay, let me have this removed. All right, hold on. I'm trying to add. Okay, so we usually have a guide that kind of helps our guests, or our participants or those that are listening to us be able to join us in this journey. So while we are speaking, I may have to, continue on that, right? We'll continue on the event. So this week, we looked at stories from Europe. We'll be looking at stories from Europe, Asia, North America, and Africa, specifically Nigeria, because an amazing thing happened this week. At first glance, they all appear like they're not related, but when it comes to service, there's always something that connects, everyone as it may be. The world is becoming digitally dependent, as we all know. But now the thing is, there are still some things that still cannot be automated, right? I mean, my co-host and my guest would definitely, agree with me on that. So let's talk about the global service radar quickly, right? Consumer protection, consumer confidence, right? In order for us to carry our guest along, let me try once more to upload this. Hold on. Let me try once more to upload our slides so that our guests are able to see it. Just some internet related issues. For most of us, this is we are broadcasting mostly from Nigeria. So for those of us that are in Nigeria, we are completely
Used
used to
to
the
it. Yeah.
world, when I say challenges of using what everybody else enjoys, but we are not complaining at all. We are not complaining. So yes, we'll be getting stories all across the world, even though we are right here in Nigeria. But for today, we'll be starting with the global service radar, right? The global service signal one today is coming in from, consumer protection becoming a competitive advantage, right? Just a moment, our document will be uploaded shortly so that our viewers don't feel left behind. But yes, there's a lot of things going on in the world. I promise you. If you're tuning in from Africa, or from Nigeria or from Lagos or from any part of the world you are tuning in from, please do note that there are a lot of things going on right now when it comes to service excellence in the world. And the more we begin to speak about these things, the more we appreciate, the efforts of individuals who go there to check, you know, check out and see what's going on in the world, right? And right now we have some updates being done to consumer protection. From one of the articles on globalpolicywatch.com, one of the trends development that's ongoing right now is ongoing in European Union, the EU. There's a talk about there's some changes to human rights where digital fairness has been added, mandate button, the whole shenanigans. Then you also have changes being also noticed in United Kingdom as well. There are also being updates to consumer protection and everything. One question I always what bothers me is as the world is updating, what's up with Africa? Like, why are we not getting updated? But before we get to answer that question, the question I have for you guys, for everyone right now, and especially I think we'll be starting with my co-host before we go to our guest, Mr. Steven. Should consumer protection become part of every customer experience strategy? Quickly, Gladys.
Okay, so there's a lot that goes on in experience, and I think there are so many angles to it. There are so many parts to it. Protection is one of them. Think of your data protection. If data protection you expect it from digital companies, then you expect consumer protection. Same way, I mean, it has been imbibed in the system for long. You go into a hotel, they don't share your information with everybody because you're lodged there. You go to a hospital and they don't share your information with everybody because you lodged there. So it's part of the experience. Yes, I think it's part of the experience. The fact that new policies are being made to strengthen it right now, because while we have it as it should be the bare minimum of experience, it should be part of the pillars of any experience strategy, any experience journey you're mapping out. I know that there have been gaps, and I do appreciate this policy the EU is trying to put in place, because we're having lots more financial solutions, we're having much more online vendors, online businesses, and again, scary stories are also coming in as evolution and digitalization is going on. So, but personally, it's not a new concept. It's always been there. It should always be there. It should grow and get stronger as the systems also get stronger and expand. You can't imagine you're in a hospital and your test results is available for everyone, or you're somewhere you're doing using a service. I mean, even in little ways. It's why when we were kids and we bought pads, they normally put it in nylon for us. It was that simple. It's part of the experience, in my
It's part of the
opinion.
experience. Oh, thank
Yes.
you very much, Gladys, for sharing that. How about you, Mr. Steven? What do you think?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. consumer protection, customer experience. These two are, I think the first thing is let's really understand what is consumer protection. And let's also understand what is customer experience. Before I give the definition, have you gone through an application online and they will put a clause at the tail end of the application? Do you consent your data being shared to blah 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 blah? Now, that is to get your consent that your information will be shared. So that is consumer protection. And another, have you also used WhatsApp voice call or video call, and you will see this call is it encrypted or something? That is
Yes,
consumer.
encrypted,
That is
end to
consumer.
end.
That is consumer protection. Have you ever been to how will I put it now? Hospital, and doctor will write prescription. Please take this to the pharmacy, and you can never read what is written on it. So in one way, that is consumer protection. So which gives me an understanding that consumer protection, there are laws, there are policies, there are principles that has been put down to guide us, to protect us, to safeguard us, to make us feel comfortable, to make us feel relaxed that we are being protected, to make us feel safe, to make us feel not being exploited. Have you seen a product at the shelf, either supermarket, the price will be written on it 50 naira. It will tell you that you are supposed to pay 50 naira for that price, for that particular product. So it has been regulated that so that you will not be exploited by the retailers, you have to pay so amount. That is consumer protection. Now it is for our good. Now, customer experience. Uh, after this, after this, after your video call, after your WhatsApp call, you will see what WhatsApp will always bring. Can you rate your call? Rate the video call 5 star. You use Uber, and Uber will come and tell you, can you please rate the driver's experience? Maybe you just how will I put now? YouTube. You just use YouTube, and YouTube is bringing a survey. How can you rate the advert that is popping up? So it's to tell you how do you feel? How is your experience? So to be sure that your protection is being guided, to be sure that every information that you are putting inside the whatever, you feel relaxed to share. That is the experience. So when bringing that into my field now, every participant of my training must also feel relaxed when undergoing, well, which English will I put on now? When undergoing mind restructuring, when undergoing uh, creative moments so that they can deliver on their job. So that is customer experience. Do you understand?
All right. Just a moment. I think I'm getting some glitches from my own end. Were there Gladys? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Priscilla.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right,
Okay.
Mr. Steven, your explanations were very, very detailed, as expected from a learning and development specialist. Oh my goodness. I cannot wait to see you. I cannot wait to hear all your views on the trends that we are going to analyze today, given the time that we have. But we are going to try as much as possible to analyze as much trends as we can for today. But yes, consumer protection is becoming part of customer experience strategy in every serious business, right? And not just in businesses. Serious societies are already doing that. As you've seen that there've been some edits to that of the EU, that of the UK. I also expect there's also some Middle East and not North Africa, and we've also seen. I'm yet to see West Africa's updates, and I'm not surprised. I'm Nigerian. I've been Nigerian long enough to know that probably our next update when it comes to our consumer rights will probably happen in the next maybe like 10 years. The current, I don't think the current administration is
Actually,
interested in.
this I actually think we have it.
We have no, we have consumer rights.
Again, there are
What I'm
different arms
talking
of protection.
about
We
is
have,
that
Yeah, we
yes,
have
we have
consumer
consumer
rights.
rights,
Yes.
we
but
have consumer rights, but what
yes,
I'm talking
maybe
about is
consumer
the
rights are
main
not
what
up
is
to it, but have you read the data protection? The data protection organization, they protect consumers and companies. And trust me, if they see a consumer gap, they will take you down. So we
no,
have
no,
it,
no.
but the
Here's what I'm talking
ways
about
in
here,
which it
right?
is active and working
Yeah, what
is
I'm
what
talking
we are
about,
questioning.
yes, what I'm talking about is not that there's no data consumer rights or there's no consumer rights. What I'm talking about is updating real time, right? Updating as trends are happening. And that's where the concerns are. Now, we are seeing EU, European Union updating as it goes. We are seeing the Middle East and North Africa updating as it goes. We are seeing UK updating as it goes. Where's West Africa? Where's Nigeria, to be very precise? And these are the kinds
We
of
are
things that
actually
we would love to.
we are actually updating, but it's not
That's not convenient.
online. It's not being implemented.
Yeah. These are part of the issues. But thank you so much for commenting on that. We'll probably look more. I personally am very particular about consumer protection, and which is why again would like to talk about accessibility. Hmm. We know that we just spoke about something about quickly. We just spoke about the issue of rights, having access. Gladys, you even gave an example using the hotel, access to information. Is accessibility becoming the new service standard? Is it, do we think that consumer rights, as we see in the global trend right now, according to the global trends, we are seeing consumer rights driving business redesign. We are seeing consumers expecting, a certain level of accessibility and using that as a yardstick to measure their experience with your business. So we are beginning to see accessibility not just as a feature, we are beginning to see it appear as a service standard. So the question now for you, Mr. Steven, in 2 minutes is: are organizations designing for every customer, or only the average customer? What do you think?
Your line is breaking.
You were not able to hear me? Oh, sincere apologies about that. Gladys, were you able to hear me? Was I
Yes,
breaking?
I was able to hear. So let me repeat. She said our
Okay.
organization designing for every customer or a particular customer. Personally, on the issue of accessibility, especially with the new conversations about video call being accessible to ASL people, like people that use American Sign Language and all that. I understand accessibility because I work with product building teams. How businesses are structured in the world, generally in the world, is 90% plus of businesses are built with the average human in mind. That is the starting point. Then when we build that, maybe we achieve a certain level of success or stability there, then they expand. When a building is built, you see that the first thing they have staircase before they have an elevator. They have a staircase before they have a ramp. And a ramp is very important because if we're talking about accessibility, we're thinking of for every human, even the disabled, even different kind of people. So things are built with for the normal person in mind first. But again, safety, consumer safety, accessibility, these are things that should be part of the best ideal service out there. They should be part of the ideal service. The ratio at which we practice them more than we preach them is what we have to look into. I think now with the FCC policy saying that, oh, they have the video calls that now ASL people can communicate with like emergency. That is actually a need, because I don't know how somebody that uses sign language would communicate over the phone with emergency service providers. But them wanting to do this, I really commend them for that. That is accessibility working out. But I know a lot of product communications where people are building for accessibility too, as much as possible. Again, services are built for the normal person in mind first. We only have a sprinkle of people that are building for the disabled. Like if you check online, you will see some products that are definitely built head to start to finish. They are built for the disabled people, but they are a they're a very small minority than the people that actually consider. I mean, how many buildings do you go to that you see a ramp for people on wheelchair to pass through before you see a staircase or a step? How do they expect people that use wheelchair to do come down and walk, or people carry them? So these are gaps. These are things we are working towards. I mean, globally, it is still an issue. People build for the normal human being first before they consider others. I think that's one thing I've noticed. I've not seen a building that had a ramp before it had a walk staircase or something. But yeah, I mean, we can get better about it. I understand that the majority of humans are the average people, the normal, right? That these marginalized people are the minority, but we can be more inclusive, just as the communications industry now are being more inclusive. Other industries should put in policies to be more inclusive too. People that approve buildings should not approve buildings if it does not have those kind of things that make everybody able to access it. So it's something every industry has to individually pick up on their own. Yeah.
I'm glad you actually mentioned that because the FCC, which is in the US, Federal Communications Commission, had a meeting yesterday, 25th June. Addressing these issues. You actually highlighted one, and the three major. I think the major recommendations was, you know, the cost and for individuals who use American Sign Language and 911 authorities. I guess being able to communicate with 911 authorities. And I'm glad that you also mentioned that other sectors should begin, not just the communication, should begin to look into, looking at accessibility issues, especially for those with disabilities, because I mean, they still need to be able to, use services and use products, and be able to do these things. We're seeing things are now in symbols. We're also seeing text to speech technology being insisted upon. And like I said, I'm very happy with the proactiveness, by the FCC in the US. But as a Nigerian, I'm hoping that maybe our own FCCPA, our FCCPC, begin to look into accessibility as well in Nigeria and some other parts of the world as well. We are all one. But I would love to hear your viewpoint, Mr. Stephen, quickly. What do you think? I mean, with regards to organizations designing, in your own opinion, do you think that organizations are designing for every customer or only the average customer?
My own POV, my own POV. I think the reality is there is no truly average customer. If you want to build a brand, if you want to build trusts, if you want to sell trust and not sell trash, if you want to build loyalty, if you want customers to have confidence after using your product, if you want to build customer referrals, I think that word accessibility is like barrier. You have already broken down your customer segments into different type of people. That's the only set of people that I want to have access to my business are the able people, are the disabled people. You're already putting barrier. That's my own point of view. So accessibility is provide it to everybody, irrespective of race, color, ability, disability, speech, irrespective of language or religion. Have you seen some applications that they will tell you that, um, can you provide further information if you need assistance, if you are disabled or if you have any disability? Have you been to some conferences that you will be provided with headphone so that you can hear whatever the person is saying in your own language? Have you applied for some applications and they will tell you that pregnant women are strongly advised to apply, women are strongly advised to apply, people living with disability are strongly advised to apply? It's because they have decided to remove that barrier. So they have made it accessible to everyone. So all businesses should be accessible. You will see banks. Banks now have built a walkway for those on wheelchair. If you go to some malls, they have built restroom for those on wheelchair. If you go to some malls also, they have built staircases for those on wheelchair. So they have made provisions for every category of customer to have access to their facility. So that is providing accessibility.
So are you saying that if businesses are not intentional with accessibility, there would be segregation amongst their customers? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly, exactly.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
because the because my own point of view is there is really nothing called average customer.
Yes.
Treat all customers equal, because you don't know the referral I can provide for you. You don't know what I can deliver to your business. Even just a welcome, even just, oh, thank you for your call. Oh, thanks for your patronage alone. The experience I have from one transaction will last longer. That is what we call customer brand. So you as a business owner, you don't have a brand. It is what customers say about you that becomes your brand. Now look at MTN. MTN has no brand. If you ask me, I just enter Nigeria, can you recommend a network provider that I can use? What will come to your mind? MTN. But why are you recommending MTN? Oh, everywhere you go, this and this. That is the brand that they have built over time. Now, which means that is the experience that person has had over time. Now brought referrals to that business. So assuming that business decided that no, our business is just for the rich, our business is just for people without disability, you're already creating a barrier. Make it accessible to everyone. Don't bother if the person can speak, even if the person cannot speak, but the person has language. Provide a transition or a translation mechanism. If you are doing adverts, provide all these speech, whatever. If you are, just provide everything possible to make sure that your information, your business, your product, and the value you are creating reach everyone. That's
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you so much for sharing that. We'll be moving on to the next one. Gladys, you have the next two segments, and I would be able to go on from there. But thank you, Mr. Steven, for sharing your very in-depth insights as usual. Gladys, if you are speaking, you're on mute, though. Hello, Gladys, can you hear me? Can she hear us?
I can't
Yes,
hear
I can
her.
hear you. I was speaking.
Yes, you were speaking, and we could see that your mouth was moving, but you were on mute. But please go ahead.
Okay, I said like Mr. Stevens said, everyone truly should build for so they should build for accessibility. These are bare minimums people should build for. It should be in the beginning their project scope, but it's sad to see that it's not so, and it's sad to see that things that should be bare minimum is being looked at like extra cost companies have to bear, because I mean people be like, oh, that's an extra work when things work like this or something, and it's making it's more sad to see that even the government is not into it. It's more sad to see that even the government is not into it. Okay, so I think next on our list we're going to be talking about public service and society. And we did talk a bit about public service last week, but this is different. We're going to be talking about public service and society. We're looking at trends where citizens are comparing government services with the best private sector experiences. I don't know if you think of Yeah, if you think of some private sectors and think of government, in your mind somehow, people in the same space, we tend to compare them side by side, and that's something we want to look at today. Should government measure success by citizen experience as much as policy outcomes? And that's the question. Should government should citizens measure government success by citizen experience as much as policy outcomes? Um, For me, it's all part of the package. It's all part of the package. Policies make systems work, and you're in a line of work where you're making the policies and you're responsible for making things work. Maybe not the same person, but different people. If service truly is the success of it on the receiver's end, if service is defined by the recipient, then I personally believe the government is also under such purview. What do you think, Mr. Steven?
Okay, thank you, Gladys. Can we give some, let's, let's list some government, government services,
Agencies. Yes,
agencies, hospitals. Have you been to general hospitals before?
I have.
Please don't laugh. Have Have you used
I'm trying to smile.
Have you used a public toilet in a motor park before?
Yes, I
Have
have.
you, have you filled a form online where from the federal government and you have to wake up in the middle of the night so that the network can go?
I have.
Now, do you know what is in the mind of those behind those projects? We are successful. We are successful. We are successful. So, citizen experience is how we feel, what we perceive when we use all these public services that has been termed successful before the government, uh, that has been termed successful before the government. So to them, they are successful. But to us, the end users, see, you
No
can't know.
matter.
Aha. So no matter how you design a website, you are the designer, you are proud. I designed an interactive website, so powerful, so stunning, so beautiful. Allow us to use it and give you feedback. That is when you will know that you have not done anything. Once it was only once in my lifetime that I heard Facebook went down, had downtime. That day, I felt like the world is coming to an end. But almost every day you visit banks, we don't have network. I want I want to use Remita. There's no network. I'm sorry, I'm mentioning names. So what should government do is liars with private organization. And thank God for BRT. Thank God for train station. Thank God for so many things that is now being handled, coordinated, and controlled by the private sector. So the question now is, should government, thank you, measure success by seizing SP? Well, Yes, please measure success by how we feel. There are so many hospitals in Nigeria, and the government will tell us we have built hospitals. Can you have you asked us how we feel about the hospitals? Because you are not using the hospital. Even you are not using the facility. So you need to ask us. You need to measure success from our experience, and that is very, very important. You have policy, you have built so many things, but it is important that you need to see from our eyes, from our so because you can so that you can improve, so that you can do better, so that you can deliver well. Because feedback brings better performance. Feedback brings productivity. If you don't receive feedback, even from training, we always share training feedback, training post training feedback, so that we can do better, so that we can go back. I can't justify my training by how people were happy, how people were happy during the training, but let them put it down in writing so that I can read from what they can't say. Let me read from it. Let me analyze. Then from there, I can measure success. So it is important that government sees success through the eyes of the end users. Okay.
I think something more important is that they see that the service they are offering is to people and quality is in the eyes of the beholder or the recipient. That's what they should see more. But yeah, Priscilla, what do you think?
I mean, I believe that my every form of experience must be judged by the people that experience it. You know that saying that the there's a way it just came to my mind and has dropped off. He who wears the shoes knows where
Beauty
it
is in the eyes of the
hurts.
beholder.
Yes, no, beauty in the eyes of the beholder is something. Then there's he who wears the shoes knows where it hurts. You know, you may not be able to tell the person, oh, the way I'm looking at the
Yeah.
shoes, like it's hurting you in the front. No, the person will be able to tell you where it hurts. And just bringing, I don't know if you are going to talk about the whole Lagos waste situation, or should we wait till you bring it up?
No, you can
Okay.
get into it.
Okay. I mean, like just like last this week has been very hectic for the Lagos State government. Even the Lagos State governor had to he has had to quickly comment on the very, very terrible waste situation because the resident in Lagos State went ballistic on social media as to how the whole state was smelling. The commissioner for environment at first wanted to act like everybody didn't know what they were saying, and now the latest news now as of today is that he has apologized to Nigeria. I think he came back from wherever he went to. Oh, he hasn't done that yet. Okay, but there's been
I'm shouting hallelujah.
okay, yes. He actually had to apply. He wasn't in the country, and he had to apologize. One of the news circulating, I saw one of these blogs where like he had to apologize to Lagosians that it was really bad. But then it is the experience of the people. Everybody cannot wake
Bad.
up one morning and decide that Lagos was smelling. Lagos is smelling at the time, but this is where we talk about citizens' experience. The experience of the people has been so terrible for so long, but then we are being gaslit with different kinds of things from you did not wrap the dirt well to you did not throw the dirt in the right place to the different kinds of storytellings that doesn't address the core issue about the experience of the citizens when it comes to waste management. And these are many more are the reasons why I think that governmental agencies should begin to be marked by the experience of the citizens and the residents in that resident locale. I mean, everybody is quick to come and collect tax. How about giving the citizens some form of respite, some form of experience as the case may be? That's my point on this. And I know it's not something that we should assume. I feel like governmental policy should begin to put into consideration the experience of citizens. I mean, if the citizens tax or both informal and formal is that important to the state should also consider the experience of the citizens involved in my own point of view. Yes.
Okay, wait. I wish we had the structure that respects the people enough, the masses, to do that kind of, oh, the masses say you did something, you did well, then you get your rewards. If we had that system, I mean, that's how a contract is. Even with this new policy of consumer rights, they said you have to tell your consumer beforehand, and they have to verify what they are getting. They have to understand the full scope, no lies. But that's not what our politicians and government officers are doing. We don't have the full scope. You collect money for a bridge, you do a wooden plank. But all that is stories that we hope to
All
change
right.
someday. Um, yeah. So we're
Gladys,
moving
please
to the
just
next.
handle. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Please go on, Gladys.
Okay. So I'm moving to the next signal, which we're seeing, which is regulators are increasing oversight of digital services and emerging technologies. We can see that so many people are building new things. I mean, digitalization is taking over, solutions and brands are coming up, and somehow before because they exist, we know that they are approved. So we're seeing that there's a trend in increasing oversight of digital services because why are businesses being founded and then it's somewhere 3 months down the line that they're being caught by a government agency for one gap that was probably there for like months ago, right? It makes no sense. You would have seen it since, like, let's say NAFDAC is stopping a drug after it has hit the market. How is that okay? So
Where is the
that's what we want to talk
proactiveness?
about now. Where is it? This is damage. I can't even say because damage has been done somewhere somehow. It's already in the market, it's out in the system, and then you're coming to stop it now. So the question now is, will the next competitive advantage be responsible innovation rather than rapid innovation? I want to hear everybody's POV before I say mine. I think we'll be rounding up with this particular topic here. So yes, what do you think, Priscilla, of this? Do you think innovative production, innovative building is better? Like being fast at building things is better than being safe? Or
I'm a, I'm a customer experience person. I'm about the human experience. So of course, it's always going to be responsible innovation over rapid innovation. In fact, I have had to, go at loggerheads with some co-founders who believe that move fast, break faster. I don't know who I don't know who came up with that. Well, I've never be I would never be a part of that. But yes, we have a guest here, so we need to hear from Mr. Steven what he thinks.
okay,
Hmm. Techno products. Techno releases products almost the same feature, maybe within 3 months. Samsung maybe two in a year. iPhone maybe once in a year. Now, if I should ask you, which one will you love to buy? You will say Techno. Why do you want to buy Techno? At least in the next 3 months, I will get another one. I will have better feature. Okay, that's good. So you love something rapid production. That's good. That's good. That's good. Let's prepare Indomie, and you prepare Indomie, me I prepare beans. Your your Indomie will be done in the next 2 or 5 minutes, but my own beans can maybe 2 hours to come. I'm still cooking beans.
Mr. Steven, I'm a
Eh?
foodie. That's not a fair comparison. That's not a fair comparison. I
Okay,
refuse.
okay, okay. Apologies, but I'm trying to tell you that things. See, it's good to be fast. It's good to come up with rapid innovation, but does it have roots? Root is very important. Safety is very important. Trust is very important. Um, Data protection is very important. Durability is very important. So if we are to consider innovation, can we go to our workshop, our drawing board, and take our time? You will see someone releasing movies every three months, kilo day, and you see someone releasing movie maybe once in a year, and people are always eager, looking forward to that 1 year. That is responsive innovation, because the person sat down, looking at their errors, studying their faults, looking at where they have gone wrong, and is putting into his own production. So that is a competitive advantage that business is supposed to do or put in place. So our businesses, our government innovation, everything, rapid is very good. But let's think about responsive innovation. Responsive innovation, because you will take time to put many factors into place: safety, longevity, data protection, consumer protection, and so on and so forth. It builds trust. It tells that you are selling trust and not trash. Okay, I guess I need to stop there. Please pardon me, I need to stop there. Is is someone talking?
Oh, Mr. Steven, I think you were breaking at some point. Gladys, he was breaking up, right?
Oh, so sorry.
I was hearing him, but nobody was speaking. I think he
Okay.
misheard.
All right, all right.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Mr. Steven, for that very, very insightful viewpoint. I love the fact that you listed some essentials. I think I was reading on some info. I love to read a lot of articles, and today I heard that there's, this vibe coding that people are doing. This vibe coding. Well, they've started suing some vibe coders already, and I'm very certain that part of the inform is going to be on information breach. It's going to be
Yes,
on information
definitely.
breach. Exactly. And
I,
then I
I think
like the
that's
fact that
something with the use of AI. The As much
yeah,
as AI is advancing, they've not set up systems to safeguard it and
AI
moderate it. That's
governance.
why.
I agree. I agree, and that's something that I'm going to be looking into personally, because I believe that to whom much is given, much is expected. If we are going to be giving a lot of information to AI, there should be accountability matrix when it comes to that. And that takes us. We'll be rounding off this segment, this particular program. We must talk about Africa's service opportunity. We might not be able to discuss African questions. So what we might do is that we share the question in the comment section for potential listeners to answer if they have a viewpoint. But the thing is, Africa can build, I would always maintain that Africa can build, a citizen-centered digital service. Africa is like the youngest continent right now. I'm not saying youngest continent with regards to the years. I'm talking about youngest with regards to the population. There's a lot of young populace in Africa. That's why we have a lot of migration going on. So again, we spoke about it last week. We're going to speak about it again because it's still a concern that is coming up for everyone. There's still an issue of trust that comes with design. Vibe coders, everybody. Africa has a lot of opportunity to take a lot of the advantages out there when it comes to um, tech, when it comes to innovations, and when it comes to AI. But then one of the major things is for us to be able to seize trust. Trust is missing out there. And with that being said, just for I think 30 seconds each, so that we can get to the end of this program. I would love to hear from you, our esteemed guest, Mr. Stephen. What are your last words with regards to all the things we've had to analyze today? What is your, do you have the last words, last sentence? You have 1 minute, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Priscilla. On a final note, in all you do, build trust, because love is natural, but trust is earned. So I can love you, but I may not trust you. So build trust, because trust is earned. And when you build trust, you build loyalty, you build confidence in your customers. They will know that you are selling trust and not selling trash. Cheers.
Oh, that's very commendable, Mr. Stephen. And Gladys, what do you have to say, my beautiful co-host?
Um, I definitely agree with what Mr. Steven has said. Built for trust. Trust is built through reliability, consistent communication. All that thing is important to any business, right? If you don't have it, you don't have and you don't have trust and truly love. I could love you maybe for your vibes, maybe for your branding, mostly your branding. There was a brand I loved for their branding, a power bank brand, but everything else was trash. And they don't have my trust. And right now, I don't, it's that bad. But yes, build for trust and also be very compliant. I do hope our systems come to a point where the compliance agencies are requesting for more, right, to protect people. But as a business, while try to be compliant in a way that is humane, like with respect to humanity. Like now that we're having people being sued for vibe coding and AI, I know that there was a trend where people were undressing people on Twitter with AI. Try to be humane. I mean, yes, think of it as a human perspective. The next person receiving your business services is a human being. What would they like? What would they feel comfortable in? All those kind of things. You have to really consider it. Like Steven said, normally if you're filling forms, you do see those questions of do you permit? Do you a lot of things come into play when you're servicing human beings for any industry. So be very considerate of that and don't leave any gap. Don't leave anything lost to the wind. Oh, it's what happens, what happens. Yeah, just be very observant and take it all in because you expect your customers, you expect someone that you are going to give money to also be that careful and that fortunate to not experience bad services. Yeah.
Alrighty, Gladys, you've said it all. Trust is a very huge thing. And if we've seen anything for this week, in my own opinion, in addition to trust, I think it's more of like um, building with the citizens' experience in mind. That's what I think that every leader, every leader should start preparing for that today. Whatever you are designing, have the experience of the customer in mind. If there's anything we've looked at today, from accessibility to governance, we've seen, and as well as the citizen experience, we can see that that's becoming like a trend. Citizens are now beginning to put it out there, and it's not just going to be for only businesses, organizations. It is now being demanded for from governments. And I'm looking forward to a situation whereby this trend, the experience of human beings no longer is being tied to those that are paying, buying and selling and all that. I'm beginning to see a trend where even citizens are going to be demanding for, value for their tax, which is going to be seen as value for money. But then that being said, we thank every single one of us who has joined us today and those who will be joining us soon. We thank you for being a part of today's segment. If there's any particular topic that intrigued you, please you can comment about it. Once again, today we've just spoken about digital dependency, in this era, and we don't know what we'll be looking forward to next week. But what I like about service excellence every week is that there's always something new going on. And special kudos to the good citizens of Lagos State who called out the poor waste management of the Lagos Waste Management Authority, and also called out the Commission of Environment for laxity in their duties. And now we are beginning to see reports from different parts of Lagos where people are giving feedback that, oh, thanks to the shout outs they've done on social media, these waste are now being packed. Why we have to wait for the uproar on social media is what I do not understand. Somebody earns salary in order for them to do their job. We don't have to wait for you to be called out on social media for you to do your job. We are hoping that this doesn't end this week because everybody feels that the uproar is dying down. We are hoping that it doesn't end this week because with the continuous spreading of filth, we can also see continuous spread of breakout diseases, communicable diseases out there that could come out from dirt. We can also, there's a potential for cholera. This seeps into our water. There's a potential for, other Lassa fever, which is also propagated by rats. And we know the whole night, everything could go bad. We're hoping that the Lagos state government in Nigeria takes this more seriously. And with that being said, Gladys, do you have anything else to say? Okay, my beautiful co-host says she has nothing else to say, and with that, this brings us to the end of another episode of Service Excellence Roundtable. We're always looking forward to having you here. Please like our posts, follow us on on YouTube to be able to be part of the conversation. You can even put on your notification so that you know immediately we come live every Thursday, every Friday rather by 4 p.m. Share this to your community, those who would like to listen in on these trends, and of course add their 2 cents. And if you feel like you have something you want to say, you can send us a DM on our social media account. We'll be very glad to listen to what you have to say. We'd love to hear from you. And your experience here on our roundtable is important. So please share your experience with us. Whatever feedback you have with us, please share with us, okay? That being said, thank you once again. And this is another episode that's just successfully ended. So cheers and bye. Gladys, are you there? Okay, bye.